Just before we get into the video, I do want to mention that I have a Discord server. Join if you want to, suggest new video ideas, or come hang out with us. And if you like what you see here on the channel, you like pretty much everything else, so why not subscribe? Thanks. Alright, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and I can't lie to you, things have ramped up considerably with the entire Emiru situation. I mean, last time we talked about her a couple of weeks ago, she had just gotten assaulted at TwitchCon, which sparked an entire debate on whether or not Twitch actually takes assault seriously or even cares about it, to which the common discourse has been that they don't and they need to start doing so, or they're going to find themselves in even more hot water, which I couldn't agree more. However, recently Emiru came out on live stream and exposed Mizkif for alleged SA, blackmailing, and a bunch of other stuff. This was October 25th, I'm pretty sure, in her live stream that was an hour long. She goes through all of the allegations in context.
And I was crying like crazy because the emotions were just very high, because I was dealing with a lot of major shifts in my life as a result of me attempting to start to try to distance myself from him. So yeah, we were just talking and I was crying a lot. He started to try to comfort me by hugging me while I was sitting on the couch and holding me really close to him. And when this was happening, we hadn't talked in quite a while, and I'm usually very uncomfortable with being touched a lot by people that I'm not in a relationship with. But I let him hold me while I was crying. And he started kissing me in my face, and I let him do it. I was still sobbing a lot. And then suddenly, he tried to climb on top of me and aggressively shoved his hand down my pants. And I screamed. Yeah. And when I screamed, he jumped off me like a cat, like. And instead of apologizing or checking if I was okay, he said, "I feel weird now. I feel like I did something wrong. I have to go." And he immediately left my house while I was still crying, without checking if I was okay or anything. And at the time, I was still making excuses for him, and I was still afraid of causing trouble for other streamers around us, or like, you know, making things weird for viewers. I know that probably sounds crazy, but like, I just felt this pressure, like I had to try to keep things together, if that makes sense.
To which Mizkif would then respond with a live stream of his own, trying to expose Emiru for the stuff that she did, like throwing plushies at him. The thing is, in his live stream, he admitted to the stuff that Emiru accused him of. Stuff like the SA allegation where he tried to have sex with her as she was having a mental breakdown.
Broke up for about a month, then got back together because we thought we can make it work. We went to get food at BJ's, a common place where we would get food, and then we went back to her house. We cuddled for about 30 minutes and started to kiss. She said that she was okay with this on her stream, and I started to advance to the next stage because I thought that's what she wanted. She yelped, and I immediately sprung up and was scared if I did anything wrong, or did wrong in general. I got scared and left the house. I apologize if that made Emmy uncomfortable for me not saying sorry, and I wish I said sorry back then. But we got back together soon afterwards. And during those last few months where we were fighting, we were still fighting, but it did feel like the relationship had good progress. And we were both agreed we need to talk about our future. Since it's been 3 years, we should see what we want. And Emmy had an idea to write down everything we wanted on paper. I'm going to let everyone know that what I'm about to say is very true. This is exactly what happened, and she cannot argue this. One day, after staying over Emiru's house, Emiru made me breakfast, and she wrote down everything she wanted. She wrote she wants me to move closer to her. She wrote that she wants me to marry her, and she wants kids with me in the next 5 years. And I just looked at this letter that I was staring in front of me, and I just handed her back the paper. She began to cry, and I told her, "I'm sorry, I just can't do this anymore." I knew we were just beyond the point of toxicity in the relationship, that our trust had completely died, and that we had so many issues that I couldn't deal with it, and I was not mentally well. I walked away, I went to her door, and as I opened it, the last words I ever heard her say is, "Don't go. I love you."
And I really don't mean to laugh, but it's just kind of funny that one, Mizkif actually thought that going live would be a good idea in trying to address the allegations, which we've seen time and time again that never really works out in favor for the person who is being accused, primarily because you can't edit your mistakes, or if you do end up saying something that might kind of twist public perception of you, it's harder to walk that back and, try to cut that out while you're live. But not only that, he thought that it was a good idea to then sue Emiru and Asmongold and OTK for defamation, essentially. And keep in mind, this is after the fact of him admitting to his live viewers and the internet, essentially, that Emiru's allegations were true, especially the part about SA. So honestly, that's why I find it funny, but then also the fact that some of the comments under the clips that I'm showing here are actually just... are just hilarious, man. Mizkif, when he sees a girl crying, he shows not to come alone. Anyways, Mizkif, also known as Matthew Ronaldo, has filed a defamation lawsuit against Emily Beth Shunk, aka Emiru, as well as Zach Hoyt, Asmongold, and his former organization, OTK, along with other entities, following the SA allegations. Emiru accused Mizkif of SA, stalking, domestic abuse, and more during an October 25th Twitch stream. Former partners and both previous OTK members, the pair lived together in Texas before separating. She claimed to be in the process of filing for a restraining order. Hours later, Mizkif then booted up his own stream to fire back on the statements that Emiru previously made, while detailing the instances of alleged SA from his perspective. In the aftermath, OTK, the streaming organization co-founded by Mizkif, sided with the co-owner Emiru, clarifying that any relationship with Mizkif was terminated some time ago. Meanwhile, other content creators like Asmongold, also involved in OTK, further fueled the flames in panning Mizkif. Now the 30-year-old content creator is turning to the legal system. Mizkif has filed a defamation lawsuit against both Emiru and Asmongold, along with OTK, Mythic Talent Management, and King Gaming Labs, as first reported by KXAN, which is a local news outlet in Texas. And just before we keep going with the article, I want to make sure you guys have the full picture. So here's the One True King statement talking about the situation. They say, OTK fully supports its co-owner and sister Emiru, and we stand by her side and admire her strength in coming forward and sharing her story. While Mizkif was one of the several founders of OTK, the organization terminated its relationship with him some time ago for reasons unrelated to the recent events, and he holds no stake in OTK or any of our other companies. Out of respect for those who have come forward, we will let their voices speak above ours. And this is coming from around 2 days after Emiru's original stream went live. The lawsuits filed in federal court claim the allegations leveled against Mizkif were false and have subsequently caused significant harm to his reputation and career. Not only does it take aim at Emiru's comments, but how the accusations were circulated and then supported by other streamers in the space. Asmongold being a key target. Mizkif has fired back in the courts, claiming that the fellow influencer only boosted the virality of the claims. Now, this part of the lawsuit could be talking about two separate instances. Regarding Asmongold, I believe the first one would be the almost hour-long video, which has 2 million views, titled "He's in Trouble," talking about the Mizkif explanation. And then the other one could also be this one where we finally know the truth, and it could be talking about another person that has come out against Mizkif, has about 1.7 million views, to which I guess one could argue that the titling would be one of the main contributing factors to people, I guess, believing that Mizkif did wrong, especially with that second upload talking about we finally know the truth. But as for the main contents of the video, I mean, it's not like it's wrong to report on the news or react to it, because that's simply what it is. In my opinion, I feel like this lawsuit is just kind of Mizkif's last attempt to salvage what he can about his image before it all comes crashing down. Because I could even remember from a time where it was, I think it was like 3 years ago, where this guy was also accused of covering up for one of his friends who essayed another streamer, Adriel Lee. You guys might remember that name. But yeah, I mean, he's been in hot water for a minute now, and it goes past that too. It's just really weird to me that this is the stance that he takes, especially knowing that everyone else is aware that he's been involved in SA allegations, treating people like garbage, and just generally being a bad person. Suing them is like the last thing that I would think he would do, especially considering that he already admitted to the stuff that Emiru accused him of. And it's also not Asmongold's fault that 2 million people saw his reaction to the live stream that he posted himself. And I seriously can't say this enough, he really shot himself in the foot when he went live. I get that, he wanted to get his side of the story out there, he wanted to try and clear his name or whatever and bring some evidence to the table, but do that like through Twitter or something, man. At least then you could edit your response or have somebody look over it, make sure that your spelling's all good, you're not twisting your own words and saying things that people could use against you or whatever. But it's just so stupid, man. You probably would have, I don't want to say gotten away with it, but you could have at least, I guess, had some cards up your sleeve if you were going to go sue somebody. If you had just stayed quiet, you know what I mean? Defendants Shuck and Hoyt and OTK have, acting in concert, wrongfully and baselessly accused Ronaldo of serious criminal activities for no purpose other than to harm him and his reputation and his business, and wrest from him control of the companies that he helped build. Furthermore, the lawsuit seeks to shut down the notion of contractual breaches with OTK, Mythic Talent, and King Gaming Labs, with the latter two claiming to be owed a collective almost $900,000 in fees from Mizkif. The lawsuit also states OTK, Mythic Talent, nor King Gaming Labs sought Mizkif for comment on the allegations before terminating their partnership. Although no exact dollar amount was disclosed in the lawsuit, KXAN reports Mizkif is seeking compensation for reputational harm, lost earnings, and emotional distress. To which all that really means, I'm pretty sure, is that Mizkif thinks that, at least with this part of the lawsuit, it's like a case of wrongful termination. The article then wraps up by saying Asmongold is yet to publicly address the lawsuit, while neither Emiru or Mizkif has publicly commented on it since their last broadcast. Now, I guess some people out there might not be surprised that Mizkif did something like this, considering he did say in his last live stream that he would go nuclear on the whole situation if Emiru were to come after her, and he did that after she posted the allegations. So I guess maybe this is him doing that.
Clarify what, if anything, was said to her team at TwitchCon. I said that if she goes after me, then I will go nuclear. And that is exactly what I said. And that is what's going to happen. Because you can't mess with me anymore. I don't have anything to lose. I'm sorry, I don't. Go after me all you want. I have nothing to lose.
However, I do just want to mention really quick that there's a website, Court Listener, that has the Ronaldo versus Shunk lawsuit, all 12 pages of it, pretty much detailing what we just went through. With that being said, that's going to be it for me today. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, hit that like button. If you want more content similar to this, hit that subscribe button. See you in the next one. Sub up, stay safe, and peace.